Shalom, brothers and sisters. I'm Apostle Joel Thomas. This is Faith, Hope, and Charity Christian Ministries, Incorporated, Montgomery, Alabama, 5510 West Ferry Road, Suite D. We're located here in the state's capital of Montgomery, Alabama. This is April 23rd, 2016, in the year of the Most High, another Sabbath, and we say peace and love to you all. We're going to come to you from a subject today. The subject we're going to take from today is going to be touch not the Most High's children. Touch not the Most High's children. And we're going to come from Psalms 105. This is what it says. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord. Call upon his name. Make known his deeds among the people. Sing unto him. Sing psalms unto him. Talk ye of all his wondrous works. Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face evermore. Remember his marvelous work that he hath done, his wonders, the judgments of his mouth. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen. He is the Lord our God. His judgments are in all the earth. He hath remembered his covenant forever, the world which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath with Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, saying unto thee, will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance, when they were but a few men in number, yea, very few, and strangers in it. When they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people, he suffered no man to do them wrong, my Lord. Yea, he reproved kings for their sake, saying, touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He brake the whole staff of bread. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron until the time that his word came. The word of the Lord tried him. The king sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go free. He made him lord of his house, the ruler of all his substance, to bind his princes at his pleasure, and to teach his senators wisdom. Now, the Most High took Joseph out of prison, and put the favor of the Pharaoh on him in such a strong way until he became a royal subject to the Pharaoh and was promoted from prison. Can't nobody do us like the Most High. Can't nobody just turn your circumstances totally around like the Most High. This brother had went from captivity, but at the appointed time, at the word of Ahai, at that appointed time, he was loosed from all of his bands at the word of the Most High. The Most High had the appointed time that he was going to do what he's done. Everything's going to be done in the season that the Most High has already foreordained. So we can keep heart and not lose heart at all concerning anything pertaining to the words of this book and the words of all those inspired books that carried the inspiration and the prophecies of Ahai. From there, Joseph actually was taken out of his bonds and made a leader in order to prepare a place for Israel to still be restored along with the other nations, because there was a great famine that came upon the land. And through the wisdom of Ahai, Joseph was able to reign. The 16th verse says, moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He brake the whole staff of bread. The Most High is the one who called for that famine in the land. He gets whatever he calls for. He sent his word don't ever come back to him void. The 17th verse says, he sent a man before them, and this is Joseph, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant. He was sold for a servant. His own brothers sold him out. But it was everything for a purpose. All things work together for good to them who love the Most High, to them who are called according to his purpose. Whose feet they hurt with fetters, laid in iron. This is still talking about Joseph's captivity. Until the time that his word came and the word of the Lord tried him. See, the Most High will allow us to go through a thing. We may be tried for a season. But the battle is not won by the swift or the strong, but he that endures. You may be tried, even being tried now. But he that endures. It's all about endurance. It's all about keeping the faith. It's all about keeping your eyes single. Because the Most High will bring you out. He is your strength. The king sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go. Go free. He made the Lord of his, and made him Lord of his house, the ruler of all his substance. Come on now. Isn't that something? He went from a prisoner to being made a Lord of the king's house and ruler of his substance. Verse 21. Verse 22 says, to bind his princes to his pleasure and to teach his senators wisdom. They became, all these folks that were once over Joseph now are becoming subject to him by way of their own leader. Israel also came into Egypt. Isn't that right? Israel even came in. Because we go through the subject where the brother was left and all these various things. Benjamin was kept back and Joseph recognizing his brother, they not knowing who he was, and all of this, and we get the whole story. And finally, the coming in and the preservation of Israel, coming into Egypt. So verse 23 takes up the part of the story where they sojourned in Egypt. It says, Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. And he increased his people greatly. Israel increased greatly in the land of Egypt, and made them stronger than their enemies. The Most High made our people even stronger than their own enemies. He turned their heart to hate his people and to deal subtlety with his servants. Then we talk about the ministry of Moses in the next verses. It says, he sent Moses. It's like a brief history. He sent Moses his servant. And then the word of God said he turned their heart to hate his people. So we're in this captivity because Ahijah put us in this captivity. Let me read it again. Verse 23 says, Israel also came into Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham. He increased his people greatly. And the word of God said, and made Ahijah. Israel is his people. We're his people. And he said, and he increased his people greatly. And the word of God described it as being his people. And he said, and made them stronger than what? Than their enemies. But then what did he turn around and do? Then the word of God said he made them great like this, made them greater than their enemies. And then what did he do? He turned their heart to hate his people. Come on now. He turned the heart of the Egyptians to hate his people. To deal what? Subtlety with his servants. Then what happened? Then the Most High sent what? Everything the Most High does has a purpose, even to this very moment in time, even to this day, April 23rd, 2016, of the Most High Sabbath. He sent Moses, his servant, and Aaron, whom he had what? Chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen. They showed his signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham. He sent darkness and made it dark. Oh my goodness. And they rebelled not against his word. He turned their waters into blood and slew their fish. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance in the chambers of their king. He spake, and there came divers sorts of flies and lice, all their coasts. He gave them hail for rain. All this is the doings of Ahijah. And flaming fire in their land. He smote their vines also and their fig trees. And brake the trees of their coasts. He spake, and what happened? And the locusts came. And what else? And the caterpillars. And that without, and the what? And without number. Goodness gracious, couldn't be numbered. So many of them. And he did eat up all the herbs of their land. So they ate up all the herb of the land and devoured the fruit of their ground. He smote also all the firstborn. The Lord kept doing things, one thing after another. Because he kept turning the Pharaoh's heart more and more to show forth his own glory. Know that the Most High has control of your heart. Let him create within you a clean heart. Let him renew a right spirit within you. Only he can do these things. Trust him and he will do it. Don't lose heart, but keep your heart in all diligence. Father, these are the issues of life. He smote also all the firstborn in their land, and the chief of all their strength. He brought them forth also with silver and gold, and there was not one feeble person among their tribes. He kept them well. They was experiencing divine health. Nobody was even feeble. Let me read that verse again. Verse 37 says, he brought them forth also with what? With great prosperity, silver and gold. Because the Egyptians lent their silver and gold to them. Their jewels, jewelry, and all that stuff. And there was not one feeble person among their tribes. Not one among the 12 tribes. Egypt was glad when they departed. Boy, they were so glad when when our people got up out of there. My Lord, it's written right here in the book. Psalms 105, verse 38. Egypt was glad when they departed, for the fear of them fell upon them. It's going to happen again. There's going to be a great fear that comes again. He's everything in his own time. He spread a cloud for a covering, and fire to give light in the night. The people asked, and he brought quails, and satisfied them with the bread of heaven, my Lord. He opened the rock. Come on, all these mighty things the high has done. And the waters gushed out. He opened up the rocks. We're not going to get into that. But what happened to these rocks? Water gushed out of them when the Most High opened the rock. They ran in dry places like a what? Like a river. Wow. They ran in dry places like a river out of the rock. For he remembered his holy promise. See, his word is not going to come. He remembers his word concerning you. He remembers his word concerning his creation, concerning his chosen one. And he has given us a promise that the end of the world is Esau and the beginning of the world is Jacob. So Jacob represents the beginning, symbology, and Esau represents the end. For he remembered his holy promise. The Most High is going to remember his holy promise. High is going to remember his promise. And he is holy. And Abraham, his servant, he gave a promise to Abraham. And he blessed him. And entered a covenant with him. And he brought forth his people with joy, and his chosen with gladness. And he gave them the land of the heathen. And they inherited the labor of the people, that they might observe his statutes and do what? And keep his laws. Praise ye the Most High. This is Faith, Hope, and Charity Christian Ministries Incorporated. Letting it be known that the Most High is watching, the Most High is in charge, and he has all power in his hand. And everything's going to go just the way he said. And his word is not going to come back in no wise void to him. Because the word of God lets us know that he remembers his promises. Verse 42 in our closing says, and he remembered his holy promise, and Abraham his servant. He sent his word and he healed him. And his word is not going to come back to him void. And he has begun a good work in you, is able to keep you against that day. This is Faith, Hope, and Charity Christian Ministry, Apostle Joel Thomas, Montgomery, Alabama. Shalom.